Welcome to African Spiritual Resistance. We're going to, the Awesome Ojetades are here. We're going to get into it, the concept of good and evil in African spirituality. Um, so we're going to get right into it. This was uh, from conversations that have happened lately at the Awesome Fest, which was a couple of years ago. I mean, a couple of years ago, a couple of weeks ago,
like that. It's been that
and
long.
a couple of weeks ago, and other conversations. So,
Greetings, family. Welcome. It's in the era.
and it'll occur. Wait a moment, then try again. Hold on. I don't know what that was. Okay, it says we are live now. It said we were live before. I don't know what just happened with that.
Yes. Greetings, family.
So, greetings, everybody. This is, if you didn't catch it already, the concept of good and evil in African spirituality.
In philosophical
What?
discourse.
Philosophical.
I'm sorry, I started off wrong. In philosophical discourse.
Philosophical, right?
I know. The contradiction involved in all powerful, all knowing, all loving, and benevolent God and the coexistence of evil beg the question that given the reality of evil in the world, can that God exist or is there an equally powerful force in charge of evil?
Um, in Ifa, evil is defined as any experience that is injurious, painful, calamitous, such that it impedes or obstructs the achievement of goals, ideas, happiness, or general well being. I'll say that again. In Ifa, evil is defined as any experience that is injurious, painful, hurtful, regretful, or calamitous, such that it impedes or obstructs the achievement of goals, ideas, happiness, or general well being. According to Ifa, the essence of evil consists in doing harm to others. Evil does not necessarily have a religious connotation. All right. Um, Such a perspective tends to be different from the Judeo-Christian concept of evil that identifies, for the most part, the religious power of evil. In Ifa, evil is a matter of morality and has little or nothing to do with religion. Therefore, the argument that heaps the blame of evil on God does not hold water with Ifa practitioners. The Yoruba worldview, hold on a second. The Yoruba worldview believes that evil does not emanate from one source, but from various supernatural forces known as the Ajagun. These forces are about 200. They are all separate and distinct entities, and as such are responsible for a specific type of evil. The Ajagun have 8 war chiefs: Iku, that's death; Arun, disease; Ofo, loss; Egba, that's paralysis; Oran, big trouble; Ekpe, that's curse; Ewon, that's imprisonment; and Esse, that's afflictions. Okay. The E5 philosophy asserts that the concept of good makes no sense independently of a concept of evil to contrast it with. It suggests that there can be no such thing as a good world unless we understand the meaning of evil, hence the study of Ajagun and his war chiefs. This view of Ifa practitioners absolves God of any complicity in the problem of evil and understands evil as an act and responsibility of humans. Okay. What Christians or Muslims refer to as sin or evil is better expressed in Ifa as wrongdoing, badness, or destruction of life. This does not mean that the more abstract religious embedded notions of sin and evil are non-existent in Ifa. It only means that the moral perspective of evil is more dominant and pragmatic. Okay. In such cultural understanding, evil is always attached to a wrongdoer, and ultimately, a wrongdoer is a human. Evil does not and cannot exist in the human experience except in and through people. It is people who are evil or sinful. not invisible or natural forces. Even when it is claimed that invisible forces cause humans to do evil, it is because such people actually entertain bad intentions, utter bad words, or engage in wrong deeds. They are therefore incarnations of evil powers or forces and not God or the devil.
Like in Ifa, Bantu spirituality notion of evil notes the performance of evil acts or its avoidance is chiefly derived from the world beyond or from God. Evil is... It's okay, baby.
So the performance of evil acts or its avoidance is chiefly derived not from the world beyond or from God. In case you couldn't hear that, because Okikiola is making herself known.
Evil or good is based on a man's reasoning and not on religion. It does not rely on a power over the man.
Over and above man.
But it rather depends entirely on man. To the Yoruba and the Bantu, mystical powers is neither good nor evil in itself. But when used maliciously by some individuals, it is experienced as evil. This view makes evil an independent and external object which, however, cannot act on its own but must be employed by human or spiritual agents. People here becomes incarnation of evil powers.
The Bugusu tribe and others. Hold on a second. The Bugusu tribe and others. The Bugusu tribe of Kenya says that there is an evil divinity that God created good, but it later turned against God and began to do evil. The Bugusu is the northernmost sub-tribe of the Abularia living on the Kenya side. This evil divinity is assisted by evil spirits, and all evil now comes from it. The Iteso people of eastern Uganda and western Kenya cite Edeke as a god or spirit who brings death, epidemics, and other calamities. They use the name of the god to refer to calamities themselves, right? So if it was, you got some disease that says, you're suffering from Edeke. If someone stole from you and said, Edeke came down on your house, that kind of thing. Edeke then is the embodiment of evil itself.
The Igbo have attempted to discuss the presence of evil can be reconciled with the attributes of Chukwu, the ultimate spirit or supreme being. Such an attempt has divided Igbo philosophers into three major camps, namely the Igbo cosmological, optimistic view, personal God, and destiny view. The middle middle course view. The first view states that the man is solely accountable for the evil in the world. The second speaks of personal God and destiny, while the final camp combines the two views together and includes some spirits as responsible for the evil in the world. But it still begs the question how all these can be explained in the face of an almighty and benevolent God. We shall explain the three broad views briefly and the conclusion that would be drawn from them. Igbo cosmological optimistic view.
According to this view, God as Okike, creator, is essentially good in himself, and that his creation is intrinsically good. Evil is something external to it in the sense that evil is the consequences of some moral evil committed by man. The upholders of this view point to the myths of God's withdrawal, proverbs, and other cultural expressions as traditional grounds for insisting on this view. There is a belief in a created universe that is controlled by the creator, Chukwu Okike, Man is in the center of this creation. He is endowed with freedom and its attendant responsibility. There is belief in the unity among beings, belief in the original cosmic universal harmony and order, which unfortunately the act of human beings upsets. The personal God and destiny view. According to this view, evil is not linked directly to man, but with the personal God of each man. That personal God chooses man's destiny at the moment the individual is born into the world. The belief here is that the supreme being assigns a personal God, chi, to, and it's called Ori in Ifa, to an individual, whose chi in turn brings to man all his good and sometimes bad fortunes, as well as poverty and sickness, and chi is also blamed for an individual's mistakes in life. The middle course view.
According to this view, our personal God and the destiny of humans, together with some other known as unknown spirits, particularly some spirits who specialize in mischief making, are originators of evil in the world. Many modern Igbo scholars support this view and conceive evil in the world as being contingent upon the act of man and the spirits. Once again, absolving God or of any involvement or blame in the problem of evil.
In traditional African religions, one finds that evil's existence rests firmly on the shoulders of humans. This includes slavery and other suffering. So, the answer to the question, how could a God or gods that are loving and good allow such suffering, is a loving and good God wouldn't. Humans have free will. Humans are free to do good, to do evil, and to do nothing. Humans are God. Not the creator, of course, but we are the gods that do good, the gods that do evil, the gods that do nothing. So when evil is done to you, a human being is responsible, and a human being should be held accountable. When good is done on your behalf, a human being is responsible, and a human being should be given credit. When a person gets in a car accident, they don't say some God saved me, some spirit saved me, some Holy Ghost saved me. They say somebody saved me.
Somebody help.
Somebody help body, a human being. We understand that intrinsically, that we are God. Okay? The Ori, the Ori-Nu, the Ipori, the three levels of head, that's God. Okay. Thus, in Ifa, we say they were praising their Babalawo. You should always give accountability to humans, right? You want to give credit to them. Like I said, when good is done on your behalf, a human being is responsible, and a human being should be given credit. So in Ifa, we say they were praising their Babalawo. So Babalawo did the work for you. They were praising their Babalawo. The Babalawo was praising Ifa, and Ifa was praising Olodumare. Okay, so that is how we should show appreciation. Work is done for us. Things are done for us. We're praising the Babalawo, not praising the Lord, not praising the Most High. We're praising the person that did the work.
That helped you.
If Babalawo Joe did the work for you, then you're praising Babalawo Joe. That Babalawo Joe praises Ifa for giving him the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding and the resources to be able to help you. And then Ifa, the system, is praising Olodumare, praising the Lord, not human beings. Okay, we praise other human beings. Okana no Sa, one of my favorite Odu, always says, "What good is a human being except what good is the cutlass except human beings pick it up?" The cutlass could represent an actual cutlass. It can represent praise for work that's been done for you. What good is that? Praise except human beings pick it up. Okay, we do the praising of other human beings. Okay, so that's the reality of good and evil from an African concept, most of it is believed that good and evil are performed by human beings. Good and evil is responsible. Human beings are responsible for it. Human beings are accountable for it. Okay. So there's no need to ask why would God let us suffer through all this?
It's not God.
It's God. It's humans.
It's human. We have to work.
And if God, one time me and Kalanji, I posted something about, be prepared, because things were coming. Snow, Mageddon was coming and all that, and I'm co-chair of USPI, so I said be prepared, and I'm telling people how to be prepared for the cold. And this one woman gets on and says, nothing's gonna happen because God gave us Kroger. Human beings built Kroger.
And the products, human beings.
And the product, the produce, human beings picked it.
Yes.
Human beings sell it. They tilled the soil. Stop it. Stop doing that. And so Kalanji jumped in and said, that's spooky as shit, sister. I said, well, I pray that if stuff falls down, then her God leaves Kroger open. We saw Kroger gives us cancer. Yeah, all kinds of stuff gives us cancer, depending on what you're eating in Kroger, too. We saw during the pandemic when everything was shut down, including Kroger. I bet that sister, she had probably bought her 1,000 rolls of tissue and no food and water, and was in trouble. So we have to understand that it's human beings that do things.
And it's important to show your gratitude, appreciation to the human being, and
and even in when not just show your gratitude, show your how would you say it? Show your recognition of and willing to also show your gratitude, if you will, for people that do evil to you. So when people talk about, slavery, if you allow yourself to be enslaved again, you allowed yourself to be enslaved again. I'm not blaming you. I'm not saying like Kanye, black people chose slavery. That was ignorant of him. But for me and mine, chattel slavery is not going to be an option if somebody tries to put us back in chattel slavery.
Right. You don't do the same thing twice.
No, hell no.
So that means you wasn't taught, or you're not teaching your children. So you have to teach your children about slavery so it doesn't repeat itself.
Teach them about slavery and how to fight it, because it can still repeat itself. But just know that good and evil, the source is human beings, and human beings are accountable, and human beings should be paid back in kind. All right. So any questions? Though thus far that was shorter than we expected it to be. Any questions? Honor and respect, peace, Jadarian, emoji, the Jamon M93, Kabat Haynes, peace to our new member, Mumat, and everybody else out there that's looking and lurking and, chilling. Peace to everybody. Hope everything is going well.
Oh, cute baby. Thank you.
Thank you, Akata. Now the name Akata is funny. Is she okay? What happened? A nail or something? The word Akata. Well, since you're using it, I assume you know what that means. There are people that will tell you Akata means cat. It does not mean cat in Yoruba. They're saying that to either try to be diplomatic, avoid the question because they know it's insulting.
But here's this.
Yeah, it's akata is a separate word. So, but I'm just teaching them what akata is. A logbo is Yoruba for cat. Akata is a animal that is a stray. It's no longer. It's not in its home. And it doesn't know where its home is. That's what an akata is. It's a derogatory term that's used by ignorant people to describe a people that have been snatched from their homeland. Okay. We have to be more empathetic towards our people around the world. When I was asked before, how do we, find unity among each other? And it bothered me because I really didn't have an answer, been searching for that answer for decades. But one thing I do know is we have to be more empathetic towards each other.
True.
And not use derogatory terms. If, somebody asked about Igbo and I'd be, oh, dirty Igbo, that would be crazy as shit. Right? That'd be crazy to talk about them disparagingly when that's my brother and my sister. So is the Hausa, so is the Yoruba, so is the Xhosa, so is the Zulu, so is everybody from Angola to Zimbabwe, A to Z. Okay. Every African is my brother and sister, so I have to be empathetic towards them. I don't understand these groups that have such hatred for Africa and Africans. One of my students, he's a Hebrew Israelite. He had some, high-ranking Hebrew Israelites call me, and I guess the idea was that I teach martial arts to them, And the one brother thought he was praising me. He says, brother, you're a great martial artist. I've seen all these videos and I heard so many people talk about you and you're a great martial artist. The only thing wrong, is that you call your martial art African. I said, I don't call my martial art African. It's indigenous African martial arts. Second, get your ass out of here, man. Get your ass out of here. That was so disrespectful. And the brother was trying to, had them call me, was trying to talk me up. And they said, man, this brother is pro-African. It doesn't matter his martial arts skills. It'll never be where it should be until he drops Africa. I said, I'm not going to ever do that, but I'm going to drop this goddamn phone call. Click. Hung up. We spend so much time hating other things. It's like we have to hate other people to love ourselves, to make our stuff seem worthy. We got to hate or talk down on something. I got to talk down on your shit so my shit seem cool. A thing that a lot of Ifa practitioners do is Ifa, the oldest religion in the world. You the goddamn lie. That's why we did the show that showed the different ages of the traditions. That's a lie. Don't do that. And that Orunmila traveled throughout Africa creating Ifa. So don't do that. Don't tell that lie. It's not the oldest religion in the world. But then I also heard Muslims say that same thing. Islam, the oldest religion, and you get it because Islam means peace, and peace been here, but so has violence. Those are both forces of nature.
It has to be a balance.
Right, and they're forces of nature.
One can't exist without the other.
Right. Obatala is the Orisha of peace. Koko is the Orisha of violence, not Ogun. Ogun is the Orisha of war, which of course includes violence. But when you're talking about just violence itself, that's Koko. A lot of folks in the diaspora don't know about cocoa. Okay. But don't do that. You know, Islam means peace, so that's the oldest religion. Stop that. That doesn't make sense. That's not true. Islam certainly is not the oldest religion. Neither is Christianity. Neither is Judaism. They're not the oldest religion. And everything first don't mean it's the best anyway. So stop doing that. Stop doing that. You know, because it's first, it's the best. Really?
No, first is,
First is first. That's what it is.
Yeah, you gotta.
You know, first is first.
You weeding stuff out when it's first.
And a lot of times, first ain't even first. People think that makes it so special, so they'll lie. There was me and Milton actually put on the first black that we know of black science fiction film festival in Atlanta. So these mugs, and a lot of people were there. So these folks who don't know the history, if you don't know the history, you better study, otherwise you come up looking like an idiot. They spent a lot of money, made this big advertisement about the first black science fiction and fantasy film festivals coming to Atlanta. And they made all this big, and people jumped on there by the scores, talking about, no, that was Balogun and Milton's event at Auburn Avenue Research Library in 2012. And they had done this in like 2018, 19. And people just jumping in. They tried to defend themselves. They jumping, no, because it was so-and-so. Here's some pictures. People posting pictures and shit. They canceled their events. They canceled their event because they were embarrassed. They were made fools of because they claimed they were first and hadn't just done simple research to find out that that's not the truth. They were not first. It could have been better than ours. It could have been better. I don't know. Ours was pretty good. But we ain't put like a doggone, a whole lot of money or advertisement. We didn't put, you walk into the Auburn Avenue Research Library, you go up to the 3rd floor, here was our tables, we were selling our books. You go up to the 4th floor, there's the theater, and now you watch the movie, and then we did a panel after, and that was it. When we did the second one at Georgia Tech, which is before these folks too. And at that one, people were saying, this is the first one, Steve Barnes was on the panel with us, and Steve Barnes is a famous actor. You heard of Tananarive Due? That's her husband. But he makes a lot writing Star Trek, and Tananarive and Steve have written movies together and books together, and they have several best-selling books. Well, novels. Well, people saying, the first one that was done. I'm like, it wasn't the first one, but the first one was ours too. But that one came before these folks too. They didn't know. Because they're not from Atlanta, but they wanted to throw it in Atlanta and didn't do simple research. So you got 2 times that you could have found out about us. Okay, so just be careful with that first.
So the derogatory use of Akata is not the only use
of the term. Respectfully, I am not using it in that way, to be clear. Oh, no. I wasn't saying you were. I was just talking about, and I said, I figure you know what Akata means, but other people may not. But if there's another term for it, then good. And please, Akata. And I remember you used to be on Come On Warrior Class and everything. Please, if you could give us the other one, I'd appreciate it, because I want to be educated in that too. Once again, I want my research to be thorough so I don't come off looking crazy. You know what I mean? And all of us should make that a habit to research as thoroughly as we can, and then even then still we're not going to get everything right. because we're human beings. And once again, so when people make certain mistakes, I'm fairly light on them unless it's very insulting. Right. And then, well, y'all have seen me, those who've seen Warrior Class, especially, y'all have seen how I do. But I try to be respectful to folks. But if you're just, being insulting or just being ignorant, not listening to somebody speak their point of view, you get what you get, But yes, I would love to know the other term. You can send it to me if you want to at African with the K, AFRIKAN, martial arts, one word, African martial arts at gmail.com. If you want to hit me up on email and not discuss it here, please, because I would love to learn more on that. I'm not a native speaker of Yoruba, Igbo either. Okay, so I would love to know. Mm-hmm. All right, any other questions? If not, we'll close out early. My wife has got an event to go to. I believe it's the memorial for Chief Metahochi.
Yes, Metahochi.
So Metahochi Zanu, Chief Baba Metahochi and Baba Osettiman are known as the two individuals who brought the African traditional religions to America. Watch it to North America first. Now we're talking about first. Those two, it's debated who actually was the first. But I believe Baba Osettiman bought the Cuban tradition here first, but Metahochi bought Dahomey Vodou here.
Well, what happened was, based off of some of the lecture they were saying yesterday, it was Baba Metahochi that was saying to the king, like, look,
to Baba
Osettiman, like, I want you to initiate me.
Some on the floor she was getting.
That he didn't want this was fine. That he didn't want the to be initiated by anybody else outside. He wanted Baba Osettiman to initiate him. So that is what started. He didn't want to go to the Cubans. He didn't want to go anywhere else. He wanted it to be done here in this sacred land.
So he was initiated in the United States. Mm-hmm. Okay, I thought he was initiating in America. I mean in Africa. Yeah. Oh, okay. Wow.
Not according to what they were saying.
Okay.
Yeah, Baba Osettiman initiated him.
So Baba Osettiman initiated Chief Metahochi. Okay. So you learn something new every day.
Even according to what they were saying, Baba Metahochi, Baba Osettiman was just like, I don't know if I'm capable of doing this. So what that did was it pushed him to seek more knowledge in order to be able
to initiate. Okay.
But,
cool.
Yeah, they started. Baba Osettiman started with the Cubans.
Baba Osettiman, yes, started with the Cubans. He didn't end with the Cubans, but he started with the Cubans. On my channel, there are 5 videos under Akata Explained playlist. Oh, I know you had a channel. Okay. I'll check it out. Thank you. Wow. Interesting. I get to do some researching today. Cool. All right, you all. Be safe out there. And if you have any questions, you can hit me up. You can always ask in the chat. And hit me or my wife up. Peace and love to you, Okada, and everyone else. Be safe, be blessed, and stay strong and study. Let's learn together. Thank y'all.
Blessings, peace and blessings.
Peace.